Hello and welcome again, Natural Rhythms community. And my name is, of course, Dion Ruff Sloan, and I am here for another 21st century Priestess interview. And this is, of course, where I talk to individuals about their spiritual journey and how they got to where they are today. And today, I have with me my beautiful friend, Jasmine Balom. And my girl here reads Akashic Records. She is a spiritual medium. She works with the energies of crystals, and she's just a phenomenal, heart centered, just really caring, coaching individual. And I cannot wait for you to get to know her a little bit better. Jasmine, thank you so much for taking time to be with me today.
Yes, and thank you for such an amazing introduction. I was like,
I know you sound amazing, right?
yes.
Go ahead and claim that. Go ahead and claim it.
I am excited to dive in today.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So take me back a little bit. I talked a little bit about you reading Akashic Records, but your journey actually starts a little bit before that. What kind of led you into this kind of spiritual path and this kind of weaving? Because you haven't necessarily broke with Christianity per se. You have done this beautiful job of weaving all of these different spiritual threads into a beautiful tapestry that you use in order to connect with your clients. So take me through your journey a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I probably started in my career, I say, 20 years ago when I was about 18, 19 years old. So I'm telling my age and not telling my age. And it wasn't by design from me. It was just like this spiritual design that came together on its own with me kind of haphazardly following my steps as they unveil themselves. And so I started realizing in my journey that there wasn't one thing or one idea that really was ever that helpful to me. It was always emerging. When I was working with my clients, I started in home rehab. So there wasn't one prayer that I could pray for them or one thing that I could say to them because they all had drastically different upbringings, cultures, experiences. And so I wove together this tapestry, if you will, from all the things that I had been exposed to. And so as I journeyed in my career of, going into fitness training and adding in massage therapy and life coaching over the years, I realized that it was this smorgasbord, like this buffet that I just got to pull from,
Mm-hmm.
depending on who I was working with and who I was working with. And so I grew up Christian. I, in my 20s, was groomed to be a pastor. That was the viewpoint that I had, the journey that I was on. And I very clearly remember sitting in church at 26 years old. I had a really rough weekend. I'd had a migraine for almost an entire week, and that weekend it had just like bottomed out, and there was no relief. So
Mm-hmm.
that Sunday, I was not in a good mood, not feeling good, did not want to be bothered, and all of these little things kept happening. And so by the end of Sunday school, because I was a Sunday school teacher at the time, by the end of Sunday school, I was sitting on the back row in tears, and I very clearly heard God say, "Get up and leave." And I
Mm-hmm.
getting in my car thinking I had done something wrong. And it brings, I mean, I feel that pain that I felt then because I remember driving down the road, boo-hooing so hard I had to pull over because I couldn't keep driving through the tears.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard God say, I didn't tell you to leave to punish you. I told you to leave so you could find me. Because Christianity had become so big and so burdensome to me that I could no longer see the forest for the trees.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was losing God in my struggle to find him, with all the rules and the protocols and the restrictions and all these, this pretty little box that I had to fit in. So I called a friend of mine and said to him, and he was Muslim. I said to him, I need help. Like I was barely getting the words out. And he said, come over. And he called a couple of friends and they prayed with me. They meditated with me. And that was really the day that started my journey of healing, my journey of, and through those experiences of the different people around me, because I had several West Indian friends, I had several East Indian friends, I had Hispanic friends, and I was being loved on from all of these different cultures and all of these different ways and methods. And as I continue to share them with my clients, I just realized that this is what healing is. It's not this picture perfect experience that's cookie cutter and you get to give the recipe and that's it and it's done. It's literally this beautiful, messy journey of getting to know yourself and pulling what works and making it yours. And so I came across Akashic Records a few years back and was really intrigued and gave it a try and had a session done. And it was mine.
Mm,
And so I knew the people that were teaching it. No offense, because I love my peoples, but it was a white woman that was teaching it. And I just felt this pull and I knew I needed to take it from someone that was more native to the culture.
mm, mm-hmm.
And so in my Facebook friends list was this amazing, I believe she's Hindu and Sikh, if I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I had been watching her for a while, and she was offering a certification course because this is what she teaches, and I took it. I have not been the same since, Dion. Like
Mm, mm, mm.
this, this was the game changing and me leveling up, and really all it did for me was solidify everything that I do into this easy to give recipe.
Mm,
Because
mm.
Akashic Records for me is very visual,
Right, right, right.
a sensory input. And so it took the intuitive guidance and the card reading and the oracle cards and all of those things and just kind of brought them into this place where I was able to use all of my senses and now give it to my clients in a way that really reaches them across culture,
Mm, mm, mm.
especially for my clients that are not Christian. It really resonates with them. And so I am thankful.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I love what you said, how it's like you have these different recipes and then you were able to make them your own. And I love that reference because I just before we got set up here, I was cooking and it's a recipe that I know so very well that I don't even need to look at it because I already know the measurements and so I'm not quite to where I can be like a pinch of that and a dash of that and just sprinkle that on, but I know it well enough that I don't have to pull it out. And I think it's fascinating that once you come to and it's different for everyone, isn't it? It's that one thing that just clicks everything else that they've been experiencing into place. And have you found that as you've been working with this, because you've been doing, how many years have you been doing the Akashic Records?
So I officially added it to my business a little bit over a year ago.
Okay,
And
okay.
I had been playing with it for about 3 years, I think,
Mhm.
and officially got certified and then started the process of adding it to the business and phasing it in because it wasn't this thing where I could just be like, hey, guess what I'm doing?
Right, right, right.
I had to kind of introduce people to it. And so I realized for me, it expanded my capacity,
Mhm.
even understand just the piece of knowledge that I hold to what's out there. Because none of us know it all, right?
Right.
But and this, love my Christian people, love me some God. But coming from a Christian background, I started to feel stifled. And that was the same thing that I was picking up from so many people. They were feeling it because it's this pretty place that you have to fit in,
Mm, mm.
right, to get it right. That's how a lot of the people that I know feel. Not everybody, but and so the Akashic Records gave me this like this explosive
Mm, mm, mm.
way to start conceptualizing and thinking on things that I had been pondering and really trying to figure out what is it that I think and believe on
Mhm, mhm.
past lives or karma or soul contracts and vows, why we have repeating patterns and cycles and like all kinds of things. But it gave me a way to enlarge my framework, if you will.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
I be possible or real or potential.
Mm.
And a way to explain it more concrete. Because when you try to explain intuitive guidance to a person, they're like, what? Because it is so abstract and the gift manifests differently for every single person.
Right, right. And
But
that's really the nature of it.
right. And so, but Akashic Records or the Akasha is abstract yet has some concreteness to it, at least for me. So it was a way that I could give this visual representation of what this place or this essence is and explain it in a way that people were like, aha. And so after every single session, there's this moment of amazing gratitude. Like, I get to do this with you. And they get to deepen their healing journey. And every time I do this with a person, I deepen my healing journey. So it's this reciprocal
Mm,
of love and
mm,
gratitude
mhm,
and
mhm.
the yumminess of life. Because let's be real, life ain't always yummy, right?
Right, right, right.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
but it always brings me back center.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. It's very similar to how I feel when I'm facilitating Priestess, because there's just this awakening that happens within that person that is like almost confirmation that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do so that this person can have what they need to have, so that, it's that reciprocity again. It's they're getting what they need, I'm getting what I need, and they're getting, that symbiotic reciprocity.
Yes. You said something just then, and it took me back. And I don't remember exactly when I did my session with you, but it was shortly after I had phased in the Akashic Records into my business. And I was really struggling with how do I introduce this, because a lot of my clients are Christian, even though I don't identify as Christian anymore. They're still drawn to me because of my experience and my openness. And I was struggling to find my new voice.
Mm, mm-hmm.
We did our work together, and you just, oh my Lord, lady, you took me by the hand, and you were like, and I'm thankful. And it just, you when you said that, it reminded me, and it took me to that moment, because I had that light bulb moment at one point in our session when everything was just clicking. You were going through the astrology with me, and it was like, this is what I'm here for. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a cool place when you get there,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that. So we've kind of touched on a little bit of it, and let's just go ahead and dive deep into it because Spirit is nudging me to go that way. When we're talking about dealing with the challenges that life is continually throwing at us, and there is a lot of stuff, especially in the US. And I can only speak from the experience of being in the US for the last couple of years with all of everything. I call it the cosmic KonMari. I know people were doing the KonMari method of cleaning out, and we're really being called to look at all of this stuff that we've been sweeping under the rug and hiding in the closets to see what is bringing us as human individuals and as collective community of people,
yeah.
what what we want and what needs to be thrown out. And so in your experience, and I'm thinking with these turbulent times, what would you say has been the most helpful tool in your repertoire?
Ooh, forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so funny because I literally just did a podcast episode on it, like 30 minutes. Forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it's like healing. There's no one right or wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that you just have to do it. For me, forgiveness simply is releasing the things that aren't serving me. Releasing that forgiveness and I'm sorry, forgiveness is for releasing that pain, that hatred, that anger, that shame, that guilt,
Mm-hmm.
else that's bogging me down to not allow me to tap into that divine love or into my best self. And so all the things that I've been through the years, all the things that have knocked me down and I've had to get back up, or that have made me struggle or forget who I am for a minute or steal my voice for a minute, forgiveness. It
Mm-hmm.
always brings me back to center and back to balance. So yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I think that's a really important piece that you pulled there, because as we are in our beautiful melanated skin and we are
Mhm.
walking in these alternative spiritual paths, that's one of the places that myself personally, I find the most juice to be able to use my tools, use all of these spiritual disciplines that I espouse, walk in my own priestess energy and align with my highest good. If I'm using that love and above and that forgiveness, and those, for me, that's kind of interchangeable, because I love myself enough to let all of that stuff go.
Yes. Yes.
But I also know that, this person is having is here as my teacher as well. And once I can get out of my own feelings.
Thing, right? So like that's a whole mouth of truth right there.
Yeah, get out of my own feelings and allow that forgiveness, because I'm not forgiven for them, I'm forgiven for me.
Yes. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Say that it's a threefold trifecta for myself and for every client that I work with. It's forgiveness, love, and gratitude.
Mm, mm, mm.
I think that I know from my own experience, when I embrace those three things, I can tell you about some of the most painful experiences that I have had. But when I have been able to remind myself to work on those three things, didn't matter how insurmountable it felt, I got through it and I came out of it greater and I came out of it stronger and more beautiful.
Mhm.
I was able to take that pain and release it and realize this is temporary. I can get through this and I can choose to hold on to this or I can let this go. And I can stay focused on all the things that are wrong with this, or I can focus on the little pieces of sunshine that I see peeking through and bring them together to give me my sunrise to get out of this moment.
Mm, mm, mm.
That threefold trifecta for me.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I have one more question I want to ask, and actually, I have two more questions. I'm gonna put that one on the back burner a little bit, but I have one question before I'm gonna ask this last question. What is it that you feel is the biggest piece of your message? Like,
Yeah, and
if people could come away with one thing from you, what would that be?
absolutely. And sorry for the noise. My dog, I guess, this conversation. He was like, wow. But if I had to say one takeaway, always know that you're worth it.
Mm,
Doesn't matter what you have to do. It doesn't matter what the situation is, what you're going through, who did you wrong, what you're having to get over, what challenges you are facing. If you can remember that I am worthy to get through this to the other side and see what's out there for me. I'm worthy of getting through this storm and see what flowers are going to bloom for me. I am worthy of releasing this shit, this pain, this stuff that's got me full
mm, mm,
and letting it go so that I can receive more love, more good, more peace, more joy, more bliss, and whatever else heaven wants to fill me with, whatever else spirit, God, source, angels want to give me. I got to make room.
mm.
I'm worthy. And that's one of the most powerful things I think a person will ever do for themselves is to remember that they are inexchangeably, inextricably interwoven with worthiness and divineness.
Girl, I love that you said that you have to that you have to make room so that you can receive what it is that is yours to receive. I
Mhm.
love that. I love that because we get so filled up with what's going on politically, what's going on economically, what's going on, down the street, what's going on here, there, that we're so full up that we can't, there's no space to receive.
Yeah. Well, the visual that I give when I'm working on somebody who's really struggling to let go is I say, sorry, a fire truck just went past.
That's all right.
What I say to them is imagine you cook dinner and you have leftovers and you put all your food in this container and it's lovely and it smells good and you pull your lunch from it every day and, you know, keep putting it back in the fridge. Well, you can't use that container again until all the food is either gone because you ate it or you throw it out.
Mm,
Either way, you can't put anything else into that container until it's available again. And when you think about all the pain and the guilt and the shame and the anger and all the emotions that we're constantly being filled up with from day to day life, sometimes you get to the point of saying, I'm
mm,
or I just have nothing left to give. And at that point, I say, don't give anything else. Just let go. Don't fight. Don't be strong. Just let go and release whatever you can in that moment because it's a process, right? But
Mm,
release whatever you can in that moment. Empty out and purge it out and open yourself. Make yourself available again as a vessel to be able to receive whatever new thing spirit wants to do.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And so, my final question for you today is, what does it mean to you to be this spiritual vessel in the 21st century? Like, where would you like to see the gift of Akashic Records in this 21st century? How would you like it to be perceived?
I love that. Um, I would love to see all of it, not just the Akashic records, but all that I am
Mhm.
quantified through the ripple effect of every person that I have a client that I worked with that real tough place in their marriage. They were on the verge of divorce, and I was able to work with her for a while over a series of months, about 5 months. And they went from the verge of divorce to like lovebird. I mean, her face lights up when she sees him now. And they're
Mm,
doing a lot of business together, a lot of ministry together. And every time I see it, I'm like, because I know that in whatever way, whatever small part, I was able to help participate in.
mm, mm,
That's
mm.
what I'm looking for in the 21st century. I'm looking for more tangible ripple effects. I don't just care about a testimonial that somebody writes so I can put it on Google or on my website or on Facebook to advertise, right? I want to see the effects in their life
Mm,
because I'm not only going to affect them, but every person they touch and connect with, their children, their coming generations, like that ripple effect of healing. And I think a lot of us are being called up to that higher level. Like, dude, get over the ego because we all want to feel good, right?
right, right, right.
Yeah, and we deserve that. Like, I'm not going to downplay that part, but above the ego part of it, like the ripple effects of lasting, actual healing change that betters a person's life. It even saves them. You know what I mean?
Hmm, hmm.
What I find myself longing for. And every time I see it in her or anybody that I'm touching, it's like breathing in sunshine for a minute.
Mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. It's that sigh of, I've, after a good day's work, like, oh yes, thank you. That deep gratitude. Love that, love that, love that, love that. Jasmine, thank you so, so much for taking time to be with me today. I deeply appreciate our connection and all of the work that you are doing showing up in the world. And Natural Rhythms community, if you would like to get in contact with Jasmine and see her Akashic Record service, but she has many, many other things that she offers as well. I've got her contact information in the link below. You can connect with her and see what she's doing and connect with her deeper and do some work with her if you feel called, if that's on your spirit. So until next time, do take good care of yourself. Jasmine, again, thank you so much.
Thank you, my love.